Hey everyone, Miss Simmons here. Today I'm going to show you how to draw a cat in the style of artist Laurel Burch. Now if you do a little Google research, you will find that there are tons of different tutorials on how to draw these cats. There are lots of videos already on YouTube of different shapes and patterns you can use on them. I am going to follow the steps that are on artprojectsforkids.org, and we'll link to those steps in the description on this video if you want to print them and follow them yourself. Now the great thing about this project is that you can use any kind of paper and supplies to do it. This sample, I drew the cat on black paper and then cut it out and glued it to a piece of blue. Today I'm going to draw on white paper, and when I cut it out and I'm finished, I'm going to put it on some purple. These cats come in all sorts of fun colors and designs. You're going to need paper to draw on and a piece of construction paper to glue it to when you're done, scissors, something to draw with, I'm going to use a black crayon, and something to color with. I'm going to use regular crayons. Let's get started. Now remember, at any point in the video, if you need to, you can stop and pause and gather your supplies or rewind and hear directions again. Now, our drawing steps have the paper folded, but I'm going to leave mine flat. If you wanted to fold the paper to help you, you could. You would just fold it in half and then in half again. But I think because these cats come in so many different shapes and sizes that it's kind of fun to just wing it and leave the paper perfectly flat and clean. We're going to start with a large curved W, like the letter. To do that, I'm going to make one big bump, then another. At the top, bring it down diagonally to create the cat's ears, and flat across to finish the head. Inside, we want 1, 2 big eyes. Make sure they touch on the outside edges. And you can put 1, 2 lines inside to make the iris, and a small circle inside for the pupil. I'm going to go ahead and color mine black since I'm using a black to draw, but you don't have to if you want to make them a different color. Now, most of the time, the cat's noses we would make triangles, but in Laurel Burch's style, it's going to be a rectangle, and you want a little line connecting it to the bottom. At the bottom here, we want to make the chin, just a little curve. There's a line under the eye, and some whiskers. Try to keep them on the page because remember, we're going to cut this out later. For the cat's body, we're going to start on the side of the head and come way out, down, and under just until you reach the middle. Then, where we left off, we're going to come up and around and then stop. We'll finish this part for the tail in a little bit. On the other side, you're going to curve down, and then at the bottom you want to make 1, 2 feet, and you want to put some little lines to show where the toes are on our little kitty cat. Up here where we stopped, we're going to bring it around and back in to show where our cat's tail is. Now, the shape part is pretty basic and easy. I'm also going to add some little lines inside the ears. I forgot that step. The next part is where you really get to be creative with this. I want you to think of a theme to decorate your cat. It could be any kind of theme. In my sample picture, I went with outer space, and I did stars and planets. I even put a little comet. And then when I colored it using metallic crayons, so it's kind of hard to see, but it's a little sparkly. And I used purples and blues in the background to kind of go with that galaxy theme. For this cat, I think I'm going to do a garden theme because it's about to be spring and I just love drawing bright, colorful flowers. So I'm going to draw some big flower shapes all around my cat. In different sizes and patterns. I think I'll just put polka dots on my tail. Now, I think that's all I'm going to do with my black. Then when I color it, I want to make sure my colors are nice and bright and vivid. And I think as I'm coloring, I'm going to add some stems and grass using some different greens. Got this big old box of crayons and they're all mixed up. So let's see if I found some different greens. Okay, I've got 3 different greens here. And I think I'll start with those. And I'll start by making some grass at the bottom. And then maybe I'll use my other greens to make some stems, almost as if there were even more flowers reaching up across this cat's back, and not just the ones I drew. And then I think I'll even add some leaves to my stems. Now the rest of my cat's background, my main parts of my fur, I'm going to do those in some different shades of blue to kind of represent the sky. A lot of times Laurel Burch's cats have what's called a gradient in them. That's where it kind of goes from dark to light or light to dark. So I think I'm going to do that with different blues. Okay, now I'm almost done with my sky. This last blue on there. Okay, now you'll notice I haven't done my tail yet. I think I'm going to make it a completely different color of blue so that it stands out a little bit more against my flowers and my stems and leaves in the background. And I really want you to think about what kind of interesting theme you might want for your cat. You could do flowers like I did, but there's so many wonderful things in the world that we can explore, and this is a great opportunity for you to show me something you are interested in and care about. Maybe you're really into dinosaurs or robots, or there's a TV show that's your favorite that you want to represent. Or maybe you just like patterns and colors and just want to make lines and shapes. If you're working on this at home, have one of your parents or grandparents or whoever is around to help you with your schoolwork. Have them look up Laurel Burch and see how she decorates her cats. And then I can't wait to see what you create and send me when you submit your work through Canvas. Now my flowers I get to have lots of fun with. They can be all sorts of different colors and patterns and designs. And then when I get it all done, I'm going to cut it out. And I'm going to glue it to a separate sheet of paper that I've made a simple pattern on. And we'll do that in just a minute. If you want to skip ahead, that's okay. You can fast forward on our video and move ahead so that you don't have to watch me color everything. And the last thing I'm going to do is color my cat's eye. I think I'm going to make it a nice orange so that it's contrasting and stands out against that blue. Okay, now that looks pretty good. Next I'm going to cut it out. And when I cut it out, I'm going to be really careful. I might even leave a little bit of a white edge around it if I want to, because I don't want to cut off my whiskers over here. Now if you don't have any construction paper at home, you could always leave this instead of cutting it out and do this last step just in the background around your regular paper. But I have some construction paper, so I'm going to cut it and make my background separate. Gotta be careful not to cut that whisker off. Okay, there's my cat. Now the last step I'm going to do is decorate a background page. Now the nice thing is the cat is going to take up most of it, so I don't have to decorate the whole thing. I just need to get a nice design around the outside. I'm going to use some colors that are going to show up a little better on this construction paper, so maybe something a little darker. Like this nice dark red I've got, or a dark blue. And I think I'll even put a little brown. So I've got a couple of colors out. And I can make my background however I want. I think I'm going to do spirals. And then I can check and see, yep, I got it good, spread out, no space. Maybe I'm going to do spirals and wiggles. Just to make it have some texture and not just be a plain, boring piece of construction paper. And then I would glue my little cat on top, and I'd be all done. On my other one, I kept it even more simple, and I just did some yellow polka dots around it because I knew that outer space thing was really detailed. I can't wait to see what you've created. If you're doing it for a grade, make sure you send me a picture through Canvas. Have a great Gator day.